Good morning. As Avery said, I am Justin Bailey. I'm from Goffin County High School. I teach social studies, and my project is geared around making virtual reality a reality in the classroom. How do we make virtual reality a reality in the classroom? Really the big problem, and I'm sure it's the problem that all you guys have, is that costs are going up and our budgets are going down, and that's the nature of the beast. And especially when it comes to travel expenses, getting kids to places, field trips, museums, areas that are just hard to get kids to anymore because we've got to pay a bus driver, we've got to pay high gas prices, we've got, especially here in Eastern Kentucky, we've got a major problem because we're a long way from anything, especially when we look at urban populations who may have immediate access to museums or centers that are geared towards educational sort of ventures. We don't have as many of those. So how do we find a way to get our kids engaged in places that they're not able to travel to? Especially as a social studies teacher, we talk about a lot of places in the world. Geography class, we talk about a lot of places, and I know most of my kids will never get to travel to these places around the world. So is there a way that we can change that? Is there a way we can put our kids in places that they can't go physically? And at least I think a part of that solution is virtual reality. Just a little background on how I got to this area of virtual reality is that I've been experimenting with virtual learning for about the past year. And when I'm talking about virtual learning, I'm talking about interactive, sort of face-to-face interactions with people who are in different places. So for the last year, we've done a lot of virtual learning in my classroom through some grants that have come from some other places. But for example, I teach an American Studies class where we learn American history through sport. And just about 3 weeks ago, we video conferenced with the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. We've been able to conference with the National World War II Museum in New Orleans. We got some of our science teachers. I see one in the back here. We got him last year. He was able to take his class and they did a live knee replacement. And our kids were able to watch that live knee replacement and talk to the surgeons, ask them questions while the knee replacement was going on. So we've done a lot of that, but that sort of helps with the costs of actually taking kids to places because we can do it virtually in the classroom. But even those virtual experiences, those virtual learning that back and forth can get costly. There's not too many hospitals that are going to allow you to do a live knee replacement for free. Now the good thing is the Pro Football Hall of Fame, for you guys out there, they do all their programs free. You can set it up. That's a great avenue. But most of these places, it's somewhere between $150 and $350, which starts to run into some money for a 45-minute one-time thing that you can never use again. So I started trying to figure out, is there something we can do to sort of supplement these virtual learnings? And that is when I wrote the grant for some sort of virtual reality headset. Now my project is the Oculus Go. These are about the most economical standalone units out there. Most people are familiar with the Google Cardboard and some of those things where you have to have your own device. And that runs into a problem in our classroom because a lot of our kids don't have their own devices. So these are standalone units. You don't have to have anything. They're built in. They're about $199 retail. So we were able to buy 4 for the classroom plus have some money left over for some content, some cases, some stuff like that. But to just open up some experiences that our kids are haven't had. And as a social studies teacher, I want to get kids places. And there's a wonderful app that the Oculus Go uses. It's called Wonder, and it basically utilizes Google Street View technology. I know you guys probably, like me, we go somewhere, we type in Google Maps, we want to see how to get there. And then a lot of times we'll take that little person, we'll drop them in, or at least I do, to sort of see the surroundings so I know I'll make the right turn. I can look around and see where I need to turn at. Well, Oculus Go, you're able to do that. You're able to take you as a person and put yourself in the street view. So you can put yourself in the street view, you can look around 360, you can see wherever you want to go. Just yesterday, we got these in about a week and a half ago, but yesterday we were really able to utilize it, I think, to its fullest. We have a foreign exchange student from Taiwan, and we took the opportunity yesterday. He actually was able to take us right to his house, right on the street where he lived. We were able to walk to his high school. We were able to see this huge urban city in Taiwan where he came from. And the kids were really interested in that because here we are. We were sitting in Salyersville, Kentucky. I mean, rural eastern Kentucky. Here he is coming from a place that has 25-story skyscrapers sort of all around, and the kids just saw that he was coming from a very different, not just a different country, but of a different setting, and he was able to take us to his house, and the kids really enjoyed that. But we've been able to look at, in humanities classes, we've already looked at ancient Greek theaters. We can get stuck right down in the middle of one. We can visit Rome. We can visit Washington, D.C. A lot of your bigger buildings like the White House, for example, you don't just get the street view outside. You can walk right into those things. So it's just a way to sort of open it up. I'm hoping that is what it's going to do in my classroom. We're just playing around with it. But open it up where kids can, at least in a social studies standpoint, experience places that they've never been before. Now, other areas, art classes, science classes, there's a lot of apps. I mean, there's one you can be inside the human body. As a social studies teacher, that I've not really experimented with those, but I think there's a lot of usefulness for these. I don't think that they're the solution to every problem that we have, but they're at least a supplement that can help us in the classroom. Now, I know 4 of them. It's not a whole lot. You got to sort of work around ways to do that. I do a lot of gallery walks in my classroom. Some people do like stations, and if we're doing a gallery walk or a station, I may put up a place in the Oculus Go and just have that as a station that somewhere in the midst of this gallery walk they'll visit at some point. Or the easiest way, if we're just quickly, we were doing a geography quiz the other day and we were talking about the Grand Tetons and sort of what did they look like? Well, how did they differ from the Rockies? And pulled it up on these. You sort of twist, I just twist the back out of the way where the kids don't put it on their head. The kids just pass it around, quick look. They may look at it for 15 seconds, but it's a quick way to show them things that would take just as long to pull up on a computer screen where you're getting a flat image. Now you can be right in the midst of it. So excited to see what this does for our kids and the learning opportunities. It's not the solution for everything, but it's a supplement for some problems that we have. But any questions or thoughts on that?